The glaring irony cannot escape observation. On one breath, they're telling us that they have built a sound economy and they're doing things so well and people are so happy. All right? On another breath, they're telling us that they are grassroots, people who are supposed to see all the beautiful things that they have done in the last 10 months, the robust economy that they have built, people who are supposed to be the direct beneficiaries, to be the defenders of this record, are exerting so much pressure on them because they are unemployed. And you know their solution? Not to expand the economy, not to drive growth in the private sector, all right? Not to train more people in vocational skills. Their solution is to target people they think are NPP members in the public sector and to get rid of them in order to create space to accommodate their grassroots. You cannot, but we're talking about what their Deputy General Secretary says, oh, that's his personal opinion. He's not just a Deputy General Secretary of a ruling party. He's also a member of the government sitting at the presidency. And for him, his solution to the concerns of their grassroots is not to expand the economy. It's not to create 24-hour economy markets across the country. All right? It's not to stimulate the eating of wache and ensure that production goes up so people are hired, but it is to target people in the public sector who they are perceived to be NPP. Get rid of them because in their opinion, they worked under NPP ministers and under NPP chief executives. And that for whatever reason, the NPP people engage in wrongdoings. And, you know, my friend Mustafa is always at loggerheads with logic because you see, in our criminal jurisprudence, every individual is singularly liable. Okay? So if a minister engages in corruption, how do you sanction a chief director? Because the minister, you have not charged the chief director of any corrupt act. The chief director is not under trial. You've not accused him of any wrongdoing. You are just saying that because you have charged his minister and because he was chief director, therefore, he assisted the minister in the commission of an alleged crime, and therefore he should be dismissed. What kind of argument is that? But you see, they have set themselves up for failure with the grand promises that they made in 2024, not just to the Ghanaian people, but even to their own base. Because when you say to the people that an NDC government would deliver one job for 3 people for 3 shifts, you have created an impression that under your watch, you are going to triple the public sector employment. Okay? So if somebody is an accountant at, say, Ministry of Energy, you are going to employ 2 more accountants for that same job so that they perform the role on 3-shift basis. You cannot heighten the expectations of your supporters with such a grand promise and say that they should not exert pressure on you. When you were saying that you would triple the jobs and allow the economy to run on 3 basis shifts, you didn't know that you were telling your supporters that under your government, all of them who are willing and ready to work would be given a job to do? That was the implication of those promises. And so the people are justified in demanding that you give them the jobs, that you ensure that the economy runs 24/7. Look, we cautioned them and we told them that, look, you cannot sloganize 24-hour economy. You cannot legislate it. You cannot issue an executive fiat which would immediately trigger the operationalization of a 24-hour economy. And we said to them that, look, economics is demand and supply. Just yesterday, I heard Gihok, all right, saying that they have suspended the implementation of the 24-hour economy because of low demand for their products.
They are calling for government to ban the importation of some alcoholic.
So you see, and they're just vindicating the arguments we made in opposition to this proposal, that you cannot legislate something like this. It must be driven by demand and supply. I remember very well, I said to, you know, a fellow debater in 2024, I said, Yendi, where I come from, Tell me how 24-hour economy is going to work there. Tell me how you are going to stimulate economic activities to a point that Yendi would open up their economy for 24 hours. So you made these grand promises to the Ghanaian people, and your people are chasing you. The solution is not to target NPP people. In any case, they have spent the last 8 months systematically targeting people that they perceive to be NPP members. And they have literally, as a result of a directive from the Chief of Staff, dismissed people. Yesterday I heard the Chief of Staff lamenting that the nature of board operations in our country is affecting quality governance. If you're a Chief of Staff and you issue directive to state agencies to dismiss people who were legitimately employed simply because they were employed under the previous regime, you are not addressing the fundamental issue of unemployment. You are only exacerbating it. Thousands and thousands of young men and women have been dismissed. So what Mustafa is saying today is just an open admission of a party policy that they have been pursuing since 7th January. But I said to him that that will not fundamentally address the concerns of the grassroots of their party. The only way that they can address that problem is to roll out the 24-hour economy nationally.
Okay.
Make sure that economic activities operate 24/7. Make sure that they support the private sector to expand in economic. Look, both political parties admit.
I will let you continue, but once you mentioned Gehawk,